In the heart of Sunny Meadow Forest lived a fox named Rusty. Now, Rusty wasn't just any fox. He was clever, quick, and had a mischievous twinkle in his eye. He had a peculiar habit, you see. Whenever he spotted something shiny, something interesting, or something particularly tasty, he just couldn't resist taking it. He didn't mean any harm, not really. It was more like a game to him, a collection he kept hidden away in his cozy den. A beautiful seashell from the squirrel, a sweet-smelling flower from the rabbit's garden, a juicy-looking berry from the bear's secret patch, they all found their way into Rusty's collection. He thought his little game was harmless fun, a secret only he knew. The forest was full of abundance, so what was one little thing here and there? He never stopped to think about how the other animals might feel. To him, it was just a part of his clever, foxy nature. One bright morning, a sound unlike any other echoed through the peaceful forest. It was a soft, sorrowful cry. Rusty's ears perked up. He followed the sound, his curiosity getting the better of him. He found a little bluebird perched on a branch, tears glistening in her eyes as she looked at her empty nest. "What's wrong, little bird?" Rusty asked, trying to sound as gentle as he could. The bluebird sniffled and said, "My jewel, it's gone." She explained that she had found a beautiful, sparkling stone, smooth and blue like a drop of the sky. It was her nest's special treasure, a gift for her baby birds who were soon to hatch. She said it made her nest feel like a home, and now it was missing. She had searched everywhere, under every leaf and behind every twig, but her precious jewel was nowhere to be found. The sadness in her voice was so genuine, so deep, that it made something stir inside Rusty's chest. As the bluebird described her lost treasure, a clear image flashed in Rusty's mind. A smooth, blue stone sparkling like a drop of the sky. He had seen it just yesterday, sitting unguarded in the nest. He had thought it was the most beautiful stone he had ever seen, and without a second thought, he had snatched it and scurried back to his den. Now, seeing the little bluebird's heart break, a heavy feeling settled in his stomach. It wasn't the satisfying feeling of adding a new item to his collection. It was a cold, heavy feeling of guilt. He realized his harmless game wasn't harmless at all. He had caused real pain. The shiny jewel in his den wasn't just a pretty object. It was a symbol of love and hope for the bluebird's family. He looked at her tear-streaked face and felt a deep shame. His cleverness didn't feel so clever anymore. It felt cruel. That night, Rusty couldn't sleep. The image of the crying bluebird kept replaying in his mind. He tossed and turned, the heavy weight of his guilt pressing down on him. He knew what he had to do. Waiting for the moon to climb high into the sky, casting a silvery glow over the silent forest, Rusty carefully took the blue jewel from his den. It sparkled even in the dim light, but now its beauty only reminded him of the sadness he had caused. He crept through the woods as quietly as a shadow, his paws making no sound on the soft earth. He reached the bluebird's tree and, with the utmost care, climbed the trunk. He peered into the nest. It looked so empty and sad without its treasure. Gently, ever so gently, he placed the blue jewel right back in the center of the nest. It immediately seemed to brighten the whole space. Rusty didn't wait for thanks. He just slipped away back into the shadows, his heart feeling a tiny bit lighter. The next morning, the forest awoke not to the sound of crying, but to a song of pure, unadulterated joy. The bluebird had discovered her jewel, returned as if by magic. Her happy melody filled the air. A tune so bright and cheerful it made the flowers seem to bloom a little brighter and the sun shine a little warmer. All the animals in the forest heard her song and smiled. Rusty heard it from his den, and a real, genuine smile spread across his face. It was a better feeling than any he had ever gotten from taking something. It was the feeling of making things right. This single act of returning the jewel had given him more happiness than his entire collection combined. He looked around his den at all the other treasures he had gathered. The seashell, the flower, the berry, they no longer looked like prizes. They looked like stolen memories, each one a piece of someone else's happiness. Inspired by this newfound feeling, Rusty made a decision. He spent the entire day on a mission of apology. He started with the squirrel's beautiful seashell. He quietly placed it back on the riverbank where she loved to play. Next, he went to the rabbit's garden. He found the sweet-smelling flower and carefully replanted it, patting the soil around its stem. He continued on, one by one, returning every single item he had taken. The juicy berry was placed back near the bear's patch. A shiny feather was returned to the pheasant. A smooth river stone was left by the otter's slide. He didn't ask for forgiveness or even let anyone see him. His only goal was to undo the wrongs he had done, to give back the little pieces of happiness he had taken from his neighbors. With each returned item, the heavy feeling in his heart lifted a little more, replaced by a quiet sense of peace. Of course, in a close-knit community like Sunny Meadow Forest, secrets don't stay secret for long. The animals quickly noticed their missing things reappearing. The squirrel chattered excitedly about her returned seashell. The rabbit hopped with joy to see her flower blooming again. They put two and two together. They had all seen Rusty looking ashamed when the bluebird was crying. They realized it must have been him. But instead of being angry, they were touched. They saw that he was trying to make things right, not because he was caught, but because he had chosen to. The next day, as Rusty walked nervously through the meadow, the other animals didn't turn away. The rabbit offered him a carrot from her garden. The bear grunted and pointed him toward a patch of fresh, unclaimed berries. The little bluebird flew down and sang a special song just for him. They had forgiven him. They understood that everyone makes mistakes, but it's the choice to correct them that truly defines your character. From that day on, Rusty was a changed fox. He was still clever and quick, but he used his talents for good. He'd help the squirrels find the best nuts or show the rabbits where the sweetest clover grew. He learned that the respect and friendship of his neighbors were far more valuable than any shiny object. His den was no longer filled with stolen treasures, but his heart was full of something much better: peace and the warmth of belonging. The story of Rusty, the fox who returned what he took, became a quiet legend in Sunny Meadow Forest. It was a gentle reminder to all the young ones that honesty and responsibility are treasures in themselves. It taught them that doing the right thing, even when it's hard, is the surest path to a happy heart and the respect of your friends. And Rusty, well, he had never felt richer. Thank you so much for joining us for this story. If you enjoyed this journey with Rusty, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more heartwarming tales. We love sharing stories that inspire kindness and courage. Let us know in the comments what you thought about Rusty's transformation. See you next time.